The Office for Students is the independent regulator of higher education in England, and we work on behalf of students. A really key part of that work is to promote an equal chance to get into higher education and also succeed when you get there, regardless of your background, where you're from. What we want to do now is to propose a new set of activities and ways of working with universities and colleges to drive stronger progress into the future. It's a public consultation, so we encourage people from all kinds of organisations and backgrounds to reply. It will be particularly of interest to people who work in universities and colleges, if they work on access and participation, if they work on data and evaluation and learning and teaching for students. But we're also really keen that students respond, so we get their views, and also others that are crucially affected, like schools and teachers working in schools. So we're proposing a number of things which will represent really quite a radical reform from how we work now. First of all, we want to give everyone, the wider public, universities and colleges, the Office for Students, a much clearer picture of how universities and colleges are performing in relation to access and participation. So that means understanding how different groups of students perform across different stages of the life cycle, from access through to continuation, to the kind of degrees they get and the kind of job they progress into afterwards. We'll do that by publishing data ourselves, so a data set that tells everyone how universities and colleges are doing. We'll also do that by requiring information from universities about how they think they're performing, bringing into play evidence on different student characteristics ranging from ethnicity to age and disability and socioeconomic background. So that's the first element, a much clearer picture of performance. On the basis of that, we want universities and colleges to set really ambitious plans over the next 5 years for what they're going to achieve. Currently, they're required to send plans in every year, and they're monitored on that every year, regardless of how well they're doing. We think if they have longer to set their plans and set their targets, they can be more ambitious, and indeed they've told us that. But in return, we'll be pushing them really hard to be more ambitious than before and to get to a better place at the end of 5 years. Our engagement with them will then be what we call risk-based. So if they're doing well, we won't need to see a lot of them, but if they're not making progress, we could require plans more frequently, we can take sanctions, we'll be expecting a lot more and ensure that there is good progress made. There are a couple of other important dimensions to what we're doing. So we'll be asking all universities to publish an impact report every year, so there's a good public understanding of what they're doing in this area. We also think we need much better use of evidence, a much more rigorous evaluation of what universities are doing and what they're spending, so that we can understand what works and they can drive that into their practice into the future. We'll be asking universities and colleges to demonstrate how they're evaluating their work and how they're improving that, but we'll also be supporting that through a national What Works Centre and Evidence and Impact Exchange, which we're setting up next year.